Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Please sit. Please sit. Please sit. Please sit. जैनिज्म कंप्लीट कर ले. Let's finish जैनिज्म. अंकित नोट्स देना जैनिज्म वाले. कंफर्टेबल. एक आंसर लिखवा लूं. Why no, ma'am? Haven't revised? Revised? ये तो पता होना चाहिए था कि कभी भी हो सकता है टेस्ट. हर रोज क्लास के पहले होता है. How many of you have not revised? क्यों? हाँ? हाँ. Why? कल तो छुट्टी थी ना. क्यों? यार क्लास में नहीं डिस्कस हुआ था कि 2 अक्टूबर की तो गेजेटेड हॉलीडे है. ओ, वेस्टर्न की क्लास में डिस्कस हुआ था. आया था. कितने बजे? तो तुमने बोला नहीं कोऑर्डिनेटर को? करा उनको बोला आपकी वजह से हम आए, हमें ऐसे हम लोगों को बहुत परेशानी हुई, ऐसे करो कुछ कहा कि नहीं कहा? गेजेटेड हॉलीडे. ओके. हाँ हाँ चलो ठीक है. लेट्स कंप्लीट. Any problem in Jainism? So Ayog and Sayog Kevali we will do. Don't worry, Monica. Any problem? No? Extremely simple philosophy. From where does Jain philosophy start? Metaphysics. Metaphysics means they talk about Dravya. Dravya means what is Dravya? Substance. Substance means that which has both gun and paryay. Gun means permanent qualities and paryay means accidental qualities. And dravya also means that is liable for production and destruction. Production and destruction at the same time. What else? Permanence. अरे उत्पाद पढ़ा नहीं है वो. Okay, very fine. We also did the classification of dravya. Very clear? अस्तिकाय अनस्तिकाय, जीव अजीव, है ना? Okay. And from this multitude of things that we find, we concluded that the metaphysics of Jainism is Anekantvad. Anekantvad means that it is neither the Ekantvad of Buddhism, neither the Ekantvad of Vedanta. Buddhism believes that all the substance is always momentary. And Buddhism, Vedanta says, Anekantvad says both. So there are some things which are permanent and there are something which are temporary. And how many things are there? Each thing has how many aspects? Can we know all of them? No. We can know only some of them. When we know only relative point of view, should we make absolute statements? No. यहाँ पे हम कहाँ आ गए? Reality के बारे में कैसे बात करेंगे? How we can talk about reality? हाँ, relative. So then they say कि we have only relative point of view. This means there are 3 ways of saying something, which are Durniti, Ne, and Praman. Durniti means asserting your partial statement as complete absolute statement. Absolute. जैसे how many of you have how many of you have 2-3 states in which you belong? मतलब नेटिवली 2-3 states होते हैं ना, जैसे you have grown up in different places. So supposedly someone asks, क्या आप महाराष्ट्र से हैं? अरावर हाँ, मैं सिर्फ महाराष्ट्र से हूँ. Now this thing becomes दुर्नीति. You are saying your partial state, or your partial in knowledge into a complete knowledge. Like this. अब बताओ, what is this? What is this? Syad. Now you have made a statement which says relatively it appears as pen. लेकिन इसमें तो निभ है ही नहीं. तब भी आपकी स्टेटमेंट गलत, क्योंकि syad. From your point of view, it appears as pen. तो जितनी भी हमारी रिलेटिव नॉलेज है, हम उसको क्या बोलेंगे? रिलेटिव की तरह ही बोलेंगे. एंड अगेन, डज इट टेल अस एनीथिंग अबाउट लाइक is your statement partial or complete? No, it doesn't specify. ये तो स्पेसिफिकली गलत बोल रहा है, तो एब्सोल्यूट की तरह प्रेजेंट कर रहा है. ये एब्सोल्यूट की तरह प्रेजेंट नहीं कर रहा, लेकिन ये भी नहीं बता रहा कि रिलेटिव. अर्ध सत्य. How many of you know the story of Yudhishthir? अश्वत्थामा मारा गया. अश्वत्थामा पता है ना स्टोरी? All of you know about that? तो युधिष्ठिर ने सच बोला था कि झूठ? उन्होंने अगर सच बोला था तो क्या उन्होंने उसको स्पेसिफाई किया था? उन्हें क्या बोलना चाहिए था शुरुआत में ही? स्यात्. अगर वो स्यात् बोल देते तो द्रोणाचार्य वो समझ जाते ना कि मे बी फ्रॉम हिज पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू इट्स नॉट अ एब्सोल्यूट स्टेटमेंट. He would have checked it himself. So न्याय is that. And then praman means जैनिज्म बहुत पुराना है, ऐसा जैनियों का कहना है. praman means always to attach the word syat. What is this? What is this? syat. ठीक है. अनेकांतवाद and स्याद्वाद. He again says there are 7 ways of making a statement. स्यादस्ति, इसे क्या कहते हैं? सप्तभंगी, न, स्यादस्ति, स्यादनास्ति, etc etc etc. We have completed till here. Sure. अब इसके बाद क्या है हमारा? Okay. Let us understand the justification of Syadvad and criticism of Syadvad. Before we read, tell me how can Syadvad be useful? Is it a useful theory? How? It is? It respects others' perspective. It solves religious dispute. कुछ और अच्छा समझ आया स्याद्वाद से? हाँ? Skepticism. Very good. Very good. It saves us from skepticism and agnosticism. They say we can know things, but can only know things from partial point of view. Therefore, we should make statements by saying that our view is partial or relative. What else? It makes our statements errorless. If you have said, if I say, Syat, on this page nothing is written, or on this page There are words written. No one can doubt me even if I flip it, because जैसे ही flip कर दिया क्या change हो गया? Point of view change. Therefore, the statement will change. क्या हुआ तुम्हें? अच्छा नहीं, तुम्हें क्या हुआ? तबीयत ठीक है? क्या हो गया था? हाँ, क्या हो गया था? डेंगू? ओह, ये तुम लोगों को यहाँ पे इतना इन्फेक्शन ये सब क्यों हो रहा है? हाँ, हाँ, तुम लोगों की बहुत तबीयत खराब हो रही है ना बीच बीच में? एक काम करते हैं, सुनो सुनो सुनो, देर आर फ्यू पीपल हु मेक होम कुक फूड, है ना? आई गेट इट फॉर माई टीम्स हियर, है ना? Yes, I give them lunch, like few teams, especially the one where students are there, I give them lunch. So, and they make very good home cooked food. If you people are having trouble finding good food, I'll put the number on the notice board. I'll ask somebody to put the number on the notice board. You can contact them. There are 2-3 places where there is very hygienic food available. One is this a mess whereby I'll give you the names, है ना? I'll give you the names. मैं उसके numbers आपके लिए वहां पे लगवा दूंगी. जिसको जोन सा पसंद हो ट्राई करो, खा के देख लो, अच्छा लगे तो ठीक है ना? बट डोंट फॉल इल, बिकॉज फॉलिंग इल मीन्स, हाँ मतलब लाइक यहाँ पे केयर करने के लिए भी कोई अवेलेबल एकदम से रहता नहीं होगा, है ना? इट्स पेनफुल एंड इट्स अ ट्रबल. पूरा हफ्ता वेस्ट हो जाता है, फिर घर जाओ, घर वाले भी सोचते पता नहीं दिल्ली में क्या है, कितनी तकलीफों से रह रहा है हमारा बच्चा एंड ऑल दैट स्टफ, है ना? डोंट. और पानी कैसे पीते हो तुम लोग? मतलब कहाँ से, आरो वारो वाला? ये लोग बहुत साफ पानी देते नहीं है, आरो की बस बोतल में भरते हैं, है ना? या तो सील पैक वाला पानी लो, या फिर एक फिल्टर आरो लगवा लो. हाँ, रेंट तो पता नहीं, लेकिन मतलब वरना ले लो. इट्स नॉट अ वेरी एक्सपेंसिव थिंग, लाइक 4-5 हजार रुपए में आ जाता है. ओके ओके टाइप का, जितना पानी की तुम्हारी कंजम्पशन होगी उतने वाला, है ना? बट पानी, एक पानी की प्रॉब्लम है, एक खाने की प्रॉब्लम है. हाँ, वेदर, अब यार वेदर नहीं कर सकते, अब मैं वेदर नहीं चेंज कर सकती. वेदर में क्या परेशानी है यहाँ पे? सीजनल चेंज तो वो तो खैर हमें भी हो रहा है, वो तो सबको ही हो रहा है ना? वो तो सबको ही हो रहा है, नो प्रॉब्लम. बट तुम तो बड़े एकदम बहुत कमजोर से लग रहे हो बच्चे, है ना? अच्छा चलो छोड़ो, तुम्हारा डाउट पूछो. हाँ, सारे एक्ट भी तो रहेंगे, हम किसी एक्ट को गलती नहीं मान सकते. So it's not talking about action, it's talking about statements. हाँ, क्रिटिसाइज करेंगे, क्रिटिसाइज करेंगे, बिल्कुल सही बात है. अप्रमा हो सकती है, बिल्कुल. सर स्यात कैन ओनली बी यूज्ड फॉर स्टेटमेंट्स विच आर राइट, विच आर प्रमा, है ना? पर अप्रमा वो तो रॉन्ग ही है ना. अप्रमा मीन्स वो तो रॉन्ग ही है. अगर रॉन्ग के आगे स्यात लगा दोगे वो राइट थोड़े ना हो जाएगा, वो तो रॉन्ग ही है ना? ओके. Apart from that, any other thing you find good about Syadwar? Good. It is a really, what do you say, a kind of a mean between Buddhism and Vedant. Okay? Read. Tell me if you understand. Read. after Saptabhangi ne? Page number 21. एक्चुअली ये ना हमने ज्यादा फैलाया है, वरना वैसे जैनिज्म के नोट्स इज 5 पेज और 4 पेज, बट जस्ट फॉर योर not required. It's so much that you don't have to require. We will see the questions now, you will understand. अंकित जैनिज्म की वो लगा दो PYQs. हो गया? ठीक है, लेट अस मूव फॉरवर्ड. अब बताओ क्रिटिसिज्म, तुम लोगों ने बहुत सारे बताई दिए हैं. बताओ क्रिटिसिज्म. हाँ, if everybody's knowledge is correct, then what is actually correct? A person is saying, यहाँ पे कुछ नहीं लिखा, there is nothing written on this, and I am saying, अरे, there is so much written on this paper. Now I am also correct and you are also correct, according to Syat. But what is actually correct? If somebody says there is no Atma and somebody says there is Atma, Syat लगा दिया, both are correct. But actually who is correct? This means when we say relative, there must be some absolute to which this relativism must be there. Relative का क्या मतलब होता है? What does relative mean? Reference point, है ना? You say relative to this point, 2 centimeters away. Relative to this. So what is this? This is the absolute. A reference point. But does Jainism or have any reference point or any absolute? No. They are only talking about relatives. They are not talking about absolute, but relative have any meaning only if they have something absolute. They are not talking about absolute. Okay, what else? Syadvad की criticism बताओ सिर्फ. Existence and non-existence simultaneously lead to contradiction. Very good, Navneet. Can existence and non-existence be at the same place, same time? They cannot be always together. If everything is on the basis of own perception and probability, then Syad itself is a probability. Isn't Syad a relative knowledge then? Because every knowledge is relative. Then Syadvad is a relative knowledge. Jains will say, yes. So Jains will say they are from different point of view. When I am saying there is nothing on the paper and you say there is a lot of things on the paper, is it from the same point of view? Jains are saying it that we have this knowledge based on different point of view. एक point of view से हम कर ही नहीं रहे हैं. So actually Vedantins are actually misinterpreting the whole theory of Jainism because they want to criticize. Just any other thing? पढ़ ले, है ना? Let's read and discuss one by one. Okay. First, the Buddhists and Vedantins have criticized Syadvad as a self-contradictory doctrine. They take the word Syat in the popular sense of probability. According to them, contradictory attributes like existence and non-existence, unity and plurality, permanence and momentariness cannot remain at the same time in the same thing. Like light and darkness, they cannot remain together. अब Jains क्या बोलेंगे? They are not in the same thing at the same time. They are seen according to the different point of views. When I am saying there is a cup on table and when I am saying there is no cup on table, is it the same point of view? It's the different point of view. Like when I say there is, do you see a black pen here on the table? मतलब ये वाला दिख रहा है क्या? नहीं दिख रहा ना? लेकिन मुझे तो दिख रहा है. मैं कह रही हूँ पेन है, आप क्या कह रहे हो? If I say स्यात पेन है और आप कह रहे हो स्यात पेन नहीं है, they are from your point of view, you are correct. From my point of view, I am correct. It makes sense. We are talking about the same thing, but from different point of views. Let's read. It relies heavily on perception. Yes, it can be. Of course, we can use that. Defense. However, the above criticism is not appropriate. Jainism never says that contradictory attributes belong to the same thing at the same time in the same sense. And Ekantwad asserts that reality has infinite attributes because it is an identity and difference. कितने attributes हैं एक चीज में? Infinite. It has both identity and difference. Identity means gun, difference means paryay. And that, though from the standpoint of substance, it is unity, permanent and real, from the standpoint of modes मतलब पर्याय, it is plurality, changing and unreal. भाई वही बात है, उसी को किस तरीके से कहा गया है? कॉम्प्लेक्स तरीके से. The same thing. A thing is regarded as real from the point of view of its own matter, from the space and time. It is regarded as unreal from the same standpoint. क्या लिख रहा है ये? A thing is regarded as real from the point of view of its own matter, from space and time. And it is regarded as unreal, not from the same standpoint, but from the viewpoint of other matter. दूसरी viewpoint से उसको हम unreal मानते हैं. There is no room for contradiction here. समझ में आ गया? ये ना अभी लंबे लंबे वाले समझ लो, उसके बाद मैं 6.6 लाइन में लिखवा दूंगी. आंसर्स में तो क्योंकि 6.6 लाइन में लिखने है ना, इतने लंबे तो नहीं लिख पाओगे, वो मैं भी लिखवा दूं. ठीक है, क्योंकि I realize you people are not very good at concising अभी, but let us learn this. अभी ये करते हैं, फिर हम इसको अपने तरीके से दोबारा लिखेंगे. Second, another charge leveled by Vedantin is that theory cannot be sustained by mere probability. If everything is probable, then Syadvad by its own assertion becomes only probable. Defense by Jains. Defense क्या कर रहे हैं? The Jains would retort that Syadvad does not mean the theory of probability, that it is not self-condemned skepticism, but it means the theory of relativity of knowledge. All judgments are relative and conditional. वो कह रहे हैं probability की बात नहीं करते हैं हम लोग, क्या मानते हैं इसको? Relative. Third, शंकरा वही वाला जो हमने सब एब्सोल्यूट वाला करा है, क्रिटिसिज्म जो पहले किया था, शंकराचार्य ने बोला है. The theory of relativity cannot be logically sustained without the hypothesis of absolute. If all truths are partial, then Syadvad itself is only partially true, therefore partially false. Relativity itself is related to the absolute and presupposes its existence. The fact that all judgments are relative require us to presuppose an absolute, in which all relatives fall and through which they are manifested. Difficult English, but कहना क्या चाह रहे हैं? That if you accept relative, you must accept something as absolute. एक लाइन में भी कहा जा सकता था इस बात को, लंबे तरीके से भी कहा जा सकता है. Can you see? Read it and tell me if it is telling us anything new. Neha, it is better that you use the spellings, like for Gyan. You can use like this. But if बिल्कुल जम ही नहीं रहा है, हो ही नहीं रहा है, बिल्कुल मतलब लिखा ही नहीं जा रहा है, then this can be used also, no problem, but try to use this. If you write it 10-20 times, it will become, you will become accustomed. ठीक है? Sure? Sure? So if you ask, if I tell you A is 2 kilometers away, what do you need? From where? From where? एक point चाहिए ना आपको? You will say from B. And then I say C is also 1 kilometer away from B. So ये B एक reference point चाहिए हमें, एक absolute चाहिए जिसके respect में सब relative होंगे. But Jainism is not accepting anything absolute, but talking only of relatives. What does it mean by relativity? Presupposes its relativity presupposes its existence. कहाँ लिखा है ये? अच्छा, presupposes the existence of absolute. Relative means something must be absolute. ठीक है? No. These criticisms are, what do you understand? Like बुराई करने के लिए बुराई, है ना? Yes, they will take something as absolute related to Kaivalya. Is Kaivalya is absolute? है ना? Is Kaivalya relative? No. It talks about absolute. है ना? So it is all misinterpretation. So in Jainism also, so all these criticisms, Jain people are able to defend why? Because no. Because the criticizers are actually misinterpreting their theory and trying to criticize. They are not, till now we haven't had any valid criticism. अभी तक कोई valid criticism आया नहीं है. That is why they are able to defend. लेकिन अब 2-4 valid criticisms आएंगे. Let us read. तभी तो मैं कह रही हूँ ये लोग इनका अभी तक कोई भी criticism बहुत अच्छा नहीं है. हाँ, वो defend basically because they say कि absolute is what? Kaivalya. And if you have hired Kaivalya, तो partial कहाँ बची knowledge? Partial तो तभी है जब हमें absolute नहीं पता. That is why our knowledge is partial. But Vedant तो criticize करने के लिए कर रहा है. Fourth, अब now this is something which is a criticism. When we examine the 7 steps in Syadvad, we find the last 3 are superfluous and redundant. They are mere combination of the 4th and the 1st and the 2nd and the 3rd respectively. Hence, only the 4 steps are real. These moreover are not invented by Jainas and borrowed from famous Chatushkoti or the 4 categories of thought accepted by Buddhism and Vedanta. ये भी हम देख चुके हैं criticism, है ना? Syadvad gives us only 7 scattered form of judgments and makes no attempt to synthesize them. They cannot be woven into philosophical garland. ये सब कहानी है basically वही absolute वाली. This is again. So Vedanta says, if you only have partial viewpoints and if you don't assume an absolute, then it's pointless to talk about relatives until and unless you talk about absolute. But can Jains talk about absolute? Why can't they talk about absolute? Yes, because limited individual, limited human being can know only relatives. अगर absolute पता ही चल गया तो तीर्थंकर बन गए ना. They cannot talk about absolute. हाँ, क्योंकि वो relatives के बारे में बात ही नहीं, वो तो मान रहे हैं कि उन्हें भगवान पता है. According to them, Brahm is everywhere and everything is Brahm. Vedant. जब हम वेदांत करेंगे तब समझ में आएगा.
What about mathematics?
What about mathematics?
Mathematics जो हमारे पास absolute रहेगा.
अच्छा. हाँ बताओ. 2 + 2 कितना होता है? 4. अच्छा. अब बताओ. 2 drops plus 2 drops is equal to? कंटेक्स्ट नहीं बताया था तो pragmatists of Europe accept that maths is also relative. Yes. Until and unless you set maths in a particular context, you cannot say anything absolute, even for maths. That is proper theory. वो science की theory है. बेचारे JNU का इसमें कोई दोष नहीं है. ठीक है? अब लिखो. ये पढ़ लो चाहो तो. ये लास्ट वाला पैराग्राफ. If you want, you can read it. But it is just like तुम्हें words कम ना पड़े. You can choose the sentences you want to use. But I will give you the criticism in just six points. लिखवाऊं? लिखवाएं? चाहो तो कहीं पे भी जोड़ लो बीच में या फिर किसी खाली पेज पे लिख लो. क्रिटिसिज्म ऑफ स्यादवाद. क्रिटिसिज्म ऑफ स्यादवाद. Number 1, Shankaracharya calls Syadvad as madman's cry. Madmen's cry. पागल आदमियों की चित्कार. Madman's cry. As they call Syadvad as skepticism or uncertainism. As they accept Syadvad as skepticism or uncertainism. Second point. According to Vedanta, Syadvad is self-destructive. Syadvad is self-destructive. Because if everything is relative, then Syadvad is also relative truth. Then Syadvad is also relative truth. Third, Shankaracharya and Ramanuj. Accept Syadvad as contradictory. Because a thing cannot be existing and not existing. Cannot be existing and not existing at the same time. Fourth, if all knowledge is relative, then why Jainism accepts Keval Gyan? Then why Jainism accepts Keval Gyan to be absolute? It should also be relative. जब सब कुछ रिलेटिव है तो केवल ज्ञान भी रिलेटिव होना चाहिए. Fifth, Jains have defeated their own theory. Defeated their own theory. As they say. There is no other God above. There is no God above Tirthankar or Vitrag. There is no God above Tirthankar or Vitrag. 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 Vitrag means devoid of rag. Devoid of rag dvesh. Rag dvesh means, rag means love. Dvesh means hatred. Rag means attachment. Okay, Vitrag. And no theory is above Anekantvad. And no theory is above Anekantvad. अब ये दोनों इन्होंने जैसे ये सब असर्ट किया, जैसे उन्होंने कहा अनेकांतवाद इज राइट. कैन दे से अनेकांतवाद इज राइट? सेल्फ डिफीटिंग. सिक्स्थ, इन सप्तभंगी ने only four categories are meaningful. Only 4 categories are meaningful, while last 3 are mere repetition. Next, 7th, the 4 categories of Saptbhangine, the first 4 categories of Saptbhangine are not original, but inspired from Chatushkoti of Vedanta and Buddhism. Another, without accepting the absolute reality, relative realities cannot be accepted. Without accepting the absolute reality, relative realities cannot be accepted. इस स्पीड में लिखा जा रहा है ना? किसी को प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं हो रही? प्रॉब्लम हो रही है? किस किस को हो रही है? इसका क्या मतलब है? स्पीड बहुत कम है. पुराने बैच में से तो किसी को नहीं हो रही है? देखो, अब हमने ये 6-7 पॉइंट्स लिखे. ऑल आर सेल्फ एक्सप्लेनेटरी विथ वेरी लेस वर्ड्स. पक्का? इन आंसर्स will you write those long points like this, very concise manner? Okay. Last point is that without accepting absolute reality, you cannot accept relative realities or relativism. Fine. Can you explain the 8th point? Without accepting the absolute, you cannot accept the relative. Clear? Importance हमने देख ही ली है. Let us move forward. Bondage and liberation. पढ़ें आगे? Okay. No. That's rebirth and death वाला जो पूरा उनका evolution की जो theory है जेन्स की, that's really complex. Step by step. Not exactly step by step. It is again on the basis of karma. You know, a cheaty, if does a very good karma, according to Jainism, can get birth of a human. Yes, direct jump. Like before, so there are numerous stories, and there is a story whereby before being born as a prince in some birth, there is a story कि उससे पहले वो prince कैसे बने, है ना? One let's talk about शायद Lord Mahavir or some Tirthankar, that how did he become prince in this that birth. So he says that earlier he was born as a elephant, and the procession was going on, and there is a story whereby a frog sat on the जो elephant था ना, उसने अपना हाथ पैर उठाने के लिए ऐसे किया, चलने के लिए ऐसे किया, और उसके नीचे frog आ गया. Now he could not move anywhere. Somehow the thing was that he could not move. तो उस elephant ने, the elephant did not want to crush the frog. That is why that elephant actually kept the leg above, like hanging. उसने करा, and it was so painful, yet he did not keep his leg to kill the frog and died because of being still in one position. Now this shows the karuna of that soul of elephant, compassion. And because of that compassion shown by that elephant at that time, the soul transmigrated to become the prince. So if you talk about like how can a cheaty be a human, it's not about that. It's about the karma thing. Senses. So it is like the soul can have, a soul can be. So बहुत सारी stories है जिनसे हम इसको समझ सकते हैं. जैसे एक story और है. So like there is this king, and he gets to know by some sadhu कि ये अगले जन्म में, in the next birth, he will become a cheetah or a bug. So he was very sad that I will become a bug and I don't want to live like a bug. So he calls his son. He calls his son and उनको कहता है कि my son, I want to ask you a favor. Yogi has told me that I will be born as a bug, and whenever I am born, I will be born in this room only. Just after I die, I will be born here. So if you find any bug, kill it, because that's me and I don't want to live a life of a bug. I know that's for sure. So son was also feeling like king bug बन जाएगा, मतलब चींटी की तरह थोड़े ना जीने देंगे हम राजा को अपने. ठीक है, तो every arrangement was made. So as the king died, as was fated, he was born as a bug. Now the prince is moving round and round to kill him, and the bug is hiding in every nook and corner. वो बार-बार छुप जा रहा है. And prince is like, पापा आपने ही तो कहा था. His father only told him, आपने तो कहा था कि मुझे मार देना जैसे ही मैं पैदा हो जाऊं, और अब भागते फिर रहे इधर से उधर. वो बड़ा इसको समझ नहीं आता कि यार ये what is this behavior. So he calls that yogi again. This was the instruction of my father and now he is a bug. So what should I do? Whatever he said was that janam or that birth. Now in his new birth, he loves his life. So every soul, when they acquire any body, whether of an elephant, whether of an ant, whether of a human, they gain this attachment towards their body. And based on this attachment, the karmas are done. So the idea is this elaboration of science of karma of Jainism is very, very, very intricate. मैम Jainism पढ़ के आपकी बातें सिस्टर बीके शिवानी जैसी लग रही है. कामनेस की भी वाइब्स आ रही है जैन फिलॉसफी से. हाँ, मेरा नेक्स्ट प्रोफेशन वही है. हाँ. It's possible, like compassion. There is a new documentary that you might have heard about. It traces the compassion of animals towards other animals or beings. It is possible. So animals can have compassion. Limited है, लेकिन सोचते हैं. There are certain levels of love, compassion, and all of these things. This is science I am speaking. I'm not speaking from the Jain perspective. Recently, the emotions were detected in plants. So plants also had this emotions, and it was. How many of you know about this interferons? Interferons, right? So if you hurt a plant, आपने उसको काट दिया, immediately the plant releases certain signals to the nearby area that somebody dangerous is around there, and these plants should try and set preserving themselves. सोच रहे हो कितना deep connection है, such a deep communication channels there are, and हम लोगों ने अभी डिटेक्ट किया, लेकिन हमेशा से था. If plants can have that elaborate connections, why not animals? क्या
मतलब मैं स्टेप कर दूंगा वो मर जाएगा और फिर ऐसा.
पहले तो ये सब कहानियां हैं, लेकिन फिर भी अगर आती भी है तो it is like animals also care for animals. अरे तुमने मुझे लग रहा है एनिमल प्लैनेट नहीं देखा बचपन में? नहीं देखा ना? हाँ तभी. सो तुम में से किस किसने एनिमल प्लैनेट नहीं देखा? डिस्कवरी हाँ, आज जाके इंटरनेट पे डालना videos of compassion shown by animals, Animal Planet. You will find a lot of videos where animals have shown compassion towards each other. It's normal, natural, scientific. ऐसे गिरा वो तक. बाल की खाल निकालना. मैम, what is the difference between सहयोग केवली and अयोग केवली? So सहयोग, योग मतलब action, स मतलब together. So if you do action and you become, मतलब you are still doing action and you become केवली means जीवन मुक्ति, and अयोग केवली मतलब when you cannot do any action, यानी कि विदेह मुक्ति. फ्रॉक को थोड़ा ना पता था. This intricate science of पाप and पुण्य, it's very difficult to decode. Fine. किस चीज से पाप लग जाएगा और किस चीज से पुण्य लग जाएगा, we cannot easily decode it. So leave it there. It's not our domain. It's the domain of religion. Religion will talk about it. वही तो बताते हैं ना, पाप लग जाएगा, पुण्य हो जाएगा. It's their domain. Okay, let us start with bondage and liberation. Today we have to start Buddhism. तुम्हारे लोगों के लक्षण लग नहीं रहे हैं. Okay. To liberate Jiva from bondage is the final aim of Jain philosophy. According to Jainism, reason of bondage of the soul is due to its association with karma matter or karma pudgal. Liberation therefore consists in complete dissociation of the soul from karma matter. ठीक है? Sure? पीछे वाले बच्चे? Sure? If you people have any problem, raise your hands, right? पक्का? हाँ. In contrast to the other systems of Indian philosophy, Jainism maintains that karma is not immaterial but constituted of fine and subtle particles of matter. ये हमने देख लिया था. According to Jainism, karma is the link which unites the soul to the body. A particular form which a jiva assumes and the kind of body it inhabits are determined by the jiva's karma in its past existence. Will you get a beautiful body or a beautiful house or a beautiful relation or good loving parents depends on your karmas of past life. Or else you will have a body full of illness, deformation, or any kind of defect, or unloving parents, or a situation where you are not able to get this or that based on the bad karmas. Then the jiva in its pure intrinsic nature possess anant chatushte, which are infinite faith, knowledge, bliss and power. Anant darshan, anant matlab infinite, darshan means faith, gyan means knowledge, anand means bliss, and virya matlab power. But on account of its association with matter, jiva becomes contaminated and finite. Example याद रखना है. Anant Chatushte means full of light, a big bulb, and if you start covering it with tissue papers or papers or cloths, there is dimness of light. But it's like ये सब क्या हो गया? ये ignorance, your knowledge becomes limited. You can know only some aspects of some things. लेकिन अगर हम एक एक करके वापस से हटा दे तो क्या होगा? वापस से सारी नॉलेज बाहर आ जाएगी, क्योंकि नॉलेज तो थी ही. This knowledge was already in you. Okay. The Jain speaks about 8 kinds of karmas and names them in accordance with the effect they produce. 8 types. हमने पढ़े थे कर्म पुद्गल में 8 types. कौन बता सकता है बिना देखे? Don't look at it. Don't look at your मैं क्यों छुपा रही? Don't look at your notes. चलो पीछे से बताना स्टार्ट करो, एक एक बता दो. चलो. अरे 8 types of karmas. गोत्र कर्मा, आयु कर्म, अरे पीछे पीछे, हाँ, नाम कर्म, मोहनीय कर्म. तुम लोगों को याद क्यों नहीं है? Is it difficult? Is it difficult? This means you are doing what? काम चोरी. Isn't it? क्यों नहीं पढ़ा? हाँ बताओ क्यों नहीं पढ़ा? तुमसे पूछ रही हूँ मैं. हाँ रिवाइज क्यों नहीं कर रहे हो आप लोग? भूल तो सभी जाते हैं, किसी को भी नहीं याद है. मुझसे भी अभी पूछ लोगे थोड़े ना सारे एकदम याद आ जाएंगे. बोले मुझे याद है, लेकिन मैंने बहुत बार रिवाइज कर लिया है तो इसलिए मुझे याद है ना. न्यूज अपडेट इन दिल्ली earthquake. I hope everyone's well. किने? हाँ? Came in UP also. Okay. चलो ठीक है. We are all good. और अभी हमने पढ़ तो लिया ही है. जीव is immortal, eternal. There is always a next birth. And I hope you people are keeping the good karmas, है ना, to get good births. Okay, come back. So देखो, these things you will have to revise many times. It's okay if you are not remembering them now, but more you revise, the better you have. Karma, if any question on karma comes, and if you write these 8, good number, है ना, it will help. So let us read Gotra Karma, Ayush Karma, Naam Karma, Antaray Karma, Jnana Varniya Karma, Darshana Varniya Karma, Mohniya Karma and Vedniya Karma. Easy? नॉट डिफिकल्ट. इसमें से घातिया घातिया कौन से हैं? घातिया मीन्स एंड अघातिया बॉडी. ठीक. Due to ignorance, the passions and cravings originate in the soul, which leads to association of soul with the matter. The passion causing bondage are anger, greed, pride, and delusion. क्रोध, लोभ, मोह. क्रोध, लोभ, मान मतलब प्राइड, मान, अभिमान करना, है ना? मान, माया. क्रोध, बोल लो, लोभ. 4 types of passion. These are together known as kashaya. Kashaya acts as a sticky substance because matter particles stick to the stool due to presence of these passions. क्या हुआ? हाँ? तुम लोग फोकस कहाँ है तुम लोगों का? Where is your focus? हाँ? मेरा वीडियो चल रहा है. Both, no problem. हाँ? अरे ये सारे ना एक ही भाई बहन के वो हैं सब. ठीक है. Now they attract the flow of karmic matters towards the soul. Since the nature and number of material particles attracted by soul depend on its karma, these particles are called karma pudgal. The flow of karma matters towards the soul is known as ashra or influx of karma. है ना? The state when the particles actually infiltrate the soul and binds it, it is called bandh. In Jain, they are talk about 2 kinds of bandhan or bondage. Bhav bandh and dravya bandh. Bhav bandh means ideal bondage, ideas, just on the basis of ideas. Like you have not expressed, but you are angry, and then you talk angrily. Like you are not, so you're just thinking of greedy. इसके पैसे चुरा लूं. चुराए नहीं है अभी तक. But even the thought of that can cause karmic bondage. That thought should also not come to your mind, because just by thinking also there is some bondage.
सब कंटेमिनेट होता है, पैशन होता है, फिर कार्बन पार्टिकल. तो मैटर से एसोसिएट बॉडी वगैरह पहले ही होती है.
Soul under passions. Soul is having passions, and because of these passions, the karmic particles are attracted by the soul, and they gets attached and becomes a जीव. लेकिन हमारी धरती पे हमें क्या मिलेंगे? सिर्फ पिछले जन्म से. पिछले जन्म से पहला कैसे आया? अगर पहला पैशन कैसे आया? हाँ, unexplained. This is one thing which is unexplained by all philosophies. Absolutely unexplained. Nobody will explain you the first cause or the first ignorance. Whether it is Jainism, Buddhism, Vedanta, everyone will take it for granted. They don't talk about it. So again, the Christianity is a different kind of a religion. In Indian philosophy, no explanation.
And this line it is written on the account of its association with matter, it becomes contaminated. But अगर इस प्रोसेस से जाते तो ठीक पहले contaminated हुआ for any reason, उसके बाद वो matter से जुड़ गया.
मतलब क्या
मैटर, ये जो मैटर से एसोसिएट होना है, यही कार्मिक पार्टिकल्स.
यही कार्मिक पार्टिकल्स है ना. बॉडी like supposedly a healthy person, very healthy person, and immediately there is a disease. Why? According to Jain philosophy, karmic particles have changed. So again, there is an elaborate science I told you now. So there is like आपने कोई कर्म किया मतलब आपने कुछ कर्म को बो दिया, है ना, like a seed. Then after some time it will grow and start giving fruits. So supposedly, example से समझाना पड़ेगा, ऐसे समझ नहीं आएगा. Supposedly, you made a friend during your preparation and you promise them, we will marry you or I will marry you. After some time you got selected. Your mind changed. You said, no. अभी नहीं हो पाएगा, है ना? What is this? A kind of a bad karma that you have accumulated? Some kind of a bad karma? Now, it doesn't translate immediately. Immediately नहीं उसका फल मिलता. Because conditions ही नहीं है. So, it will grow. After some time, when such situations will arrive again in your life, है ना? Supposedly, you get married to someone, etc. And now you feel कि यार ये आदमी तो सिर्फ और सिर्फ मैं ऑफिसर हूँ इसलिए मुझसे शादी कर रहा है. And so that kind of thing that happened in your life, that kind of mental torture that you are going through, according to Jainism, is explained through karma. इसको कहते हैं कर्म उदय. Uday means fructification of the karmas. So what we do is sowing of karmas, and what we get are fruits of karma. हाँ, that वही तो कह रहे ना. That is why circular है. No. हाँ, तो ये जो birth and rebirth की जो cycle है ना, there are numerous stories written about it, about that. It's like एक जन्म में कोई पिता था, अगले जन्म में वही उसका भाई बनकर आ गया, और उसके अगले जन्म में वही पिता या पति बनकर आ गया. This means the cycle of relations is very intricate. Example, there बहुत सारे story. अब तुम लोग मुझसे stories सुनते रहोगे, पढ़ोगे नहीं क्या? Last story. कर्मा के explanation के लिए. So there was this servant who killed his, what do you say, the master. सेठ को मार दिया basically. South Indian friends, are they in the class? They will be back. So English में story सुनाने का मजा ही नहीं आता, है ना? असली मजा हिंदी में ही आता है. एक नौकर था, उसने अपने सेठ को मार दिया टाइप से कहने में. But ठीक है, let us do it in both the languages. So there was the servant who killed his own master and took away all the money he had, all the cash, jewelry, etc. And after some time, सेठ मर गया, नौकर भी मर गया. ठीक है. After some time, नौकर ने 5-6-50 साल जीवन जिया, and in his old age he also died. They were both again born, and this time the servant was the father, and the Seth, the soul of the Seth, was the son. And the soul of this, जो servant जो था, इसकी soul को अपने बेटे से बहुत प्यार था, और जो बेटा था वो बहुत बीमार रहता था. And this sick child मतलब made the father spend nearly everything. उसका वो इतना बीमार रहा, खेत बेचने पड़े उसको, घर भी बेचना पड़ा, everything. He even donated his own blood and everything just to save his child. And after some time, maybe when the boy was 10-12 years, the boy died. And it is said that according to the stories, if you believe them, the amount which was spent on the medical expenses is exactly the amount which the servant took, including the interest. पता नहीं, अब उन्होंने लगाया होगा कुछ। बट समझ रहे हो, it's a very elaborately calibrated explanations these people have given. किसके बेटे को सजा मिली? तो सेठ ने भी तो चूस के ही कमाया होगा ना। Karma hit backs in one or another way. Okay, come back. Come back, come back, come back. Don't start self-evaluating your own karmas. It's okay. Remember, we just read Charvak. Remember, we just read Charvak. Some people became so worried. I can see it on their faces. मैंने क्या क्या किया है? हाँ? 3-4 जन्म तो लग जाए। अच्छा नीचे करो, क्या है? बहुत बड़ा सा कुछ है। Isn't karma theory of Jainism seems like uplifting the already uplifted? If you do good, you will be born in a good family. If you do bad, you will be born in a poor low class family. Socialism नहीं मानते वो लोग. Where there is already starvation and abusive family, in that family one will do anything just to survive only, then how can they focus on doing good karma? It means they are stuck in a cycle of bad karma. So there is a choice. It's not very essential that if a person is born in a good family that they will still choose to be good. There is no more. It's not like that. You know, so many rich people go in the wrong manner, wrong deeds, है ना? गरीब आदमी के पास कहाँ है पैसा ड्रग्स करने के लिए, है ना? So this doesn't mean कि कोई अमीर है तो वो अच्छा ही करेगा. It's about you are mixing two things, being poor and rich, and one is being good and bad. Not all rich are good and not all poor are bad. It seems need to carry huge data analysis for centuries to prove karma theory. Yes, only if we could have that data. Priya Dukhiya, good karmas are not like hobbies. ये तो यूपीएससी के ऐसे जैसे सवाल पूछते रहे हो तुम लोग तो। मुझे समझ नहीं आया क्वेश्चन बच्चा, लेकिन चलो समझ में आ गई बात. लेट अस मूव फॉरवर्ड. ठीक है, ये सब लिख मत आना कहानियां वहां पे, दो दे आर फ्रॉम ओरिजिनल टेक्स्ट, है ना, बट इट्स नॉट रिक्वायर्ड. सो आइडियल बॉन्डेज एंड मटेरियल बॉन्डेज. हाँ एसेस वगैरह में काम आएगा. In bondage, the karmic matter unites with the soul by intimate interpenetration, just as water unites with milk or fire unites with red hot iron ball. ठीक है, ये हमने देख लिया था. It is for this reason that we find life and consciousness in every part of the body. 11th point, for the Jain, soul is not devoid of extension but is coextensive with the living body, that is matter as well as consciousness in every part of the living body. हाथी की सोल हाथी जितनी, चींटी की सोल चींटी जितनी. Since karma is that which binds the soul, so the cause of liberation will be the dissociation of the soul from matter, which according to Jainism can be attained by stopping the influx of new matter into the soul, as well as by the complete elimination of matter with which the soul has already mingled. 13th, stopping the influx of new matter into the soul is called samvar. Dabba, highlight. And destruction of matter that has already entered the soul is known as nirjara, or fearing out. When the last particle of karma particle have been exhausted, the partnership between soul and matter is dissolved. The freed soul then that possess infinite consciousness, knowledge, bliss, power, and faith. This state is known as or liberation or kaivalya. केवल्य की स्पेलिंग गलत मत लिख लेना. वो केवल ज्ञान है। ठीक है, हेयर केवल ज्ञान और ओमनिसेंस इज अचीव्ड। केवल ज्ञान या हमने पढ़ा था अवधि ज्ञान, मना, पर्याय और केवल ज्ञान। 15 the liberated soul transcends samsara and goes straight to liberation। के बाद कहाँ जाती है सोल? at the top of the world and dwells there in eternal knowledge and bliss. The Jain teachers urge the right faith, right knowledge and right conduct as the three indispensable paths to self-realization or liberation. These are known as three jewels or three ratna of Jainism. क्या है वो त्रिरत्न? Right faith, right knowledge and right conduct. सम्यक दर्शन, सम्यक ज्ञान, सम्यक चारित्र. Faith means right faith. Not having wrong faith. According to Jainism, what is the wrong faith? Acceptance of Buddhism or Vedanta. If you accept soul is temporary, then also you cannot have right faith. And if you accept Brahm is the only reality, then also you are wrong. And if you accept that there is a God who is creator, operator and destroyer, again a wrong faith. तो इनके हिसाब से राइट फेथ क्या है भाई? जैन फिलोसफी है ना, अनेकांतवाद इज द राइट दर्शन. ठीक है, देन सम्यक ज्ञान. If the state of detail, it is the state of detailed cognition of the real nature of soul and non-soul. क्या सोल है और क्या सोल नहीं है. Right knowledge is free from doubt, error and uncertainty. For the attainment of perfect knowledge and removal of karmas that hinder the way of attaining knowledge should be removed. Perfection of this process ends in the attainment of केवल ज्ञान. Basically, कर्म अच्छे करते जाओ, उससे मैटर और पुद्गल हटता जाएगा. The better karmas you do, more karmic particles you will remove, more knowledge you will get, and the more knowledge you will get, more particles you can remove, and ultimately you will reach a point where you will get avdhi gyan. After avdhi gyan you will get manah paryay gyan, and last you will get keval gyan. When all the particles get dissociated, जब सारे particles हट गए हैं, तो हम कहाँ पहुंच गए? We have the omniscience. अभी इसका फ्लो चार्ट बना देंगे. राइट कंडक्ट मतलब ऑफ कोर्स टू डू द राइट. बॉडी के साथ for the stoppage of influx of new karmas and for wearing out of karmas that have already entered the soul, the aspirant must practice extreme carefulness or samiti. Samiti means carefulness in walking, speaking, etc. हमने 5 समिति पढ़ी थी. चार्ट देखा था 5 समिति का. पढ़ो कौन सी है बताओ. Can souls after going to Shila again get attached to the karma particles? No, Irfan, they cannot get attached to the karma particles again. Ma'am, if soul have infinite knowledge, then why is it necessary to... Okay. So death is not the normal death. So if you have done supposedly this is Mr. A, done lot of karmas, accumulated a balance. Just as account balance or bank balance, this is the balance of karmas. If the karmas balance is not 0, what will happen? Rebirth. This balance will be exhausted, not exhausted, like repaid, and some will be reaccumulated. Then again, rebirth. And this cycle of birth and rebirth will go on till infinite times, till the time this soul starts consistently removing the karma. So first step is not to accumulate new karmas, samvar, and the accumulated karma should be exhausted. भाई नया पैसा नहीं लोगे और अब जो existing है वो खर्च कर दोगे तो कभी तो zero आएगा. When you get that zero is what breaks the cycle. ठीक है? You can come out only when your balance is zero. हाँ, डेप्रिसिएशन ऐसे ही होता है. Yes, एरिया भाषा ऐशना आदान एंड निक्षेपण उत्सर. वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड. इरफान, अरे ऑफलाइन के बच्चे देखो. तो तुम्हारे पास कौन सा नहीं है नोट्स? And practice guptis. 3 kinds of guptis. What are they? बहुत बढ़िया. And conduct of 10 dharmas. ठीक है. And meditate on cardinal truth and thoughts regarding to the self. ये सब तो फालतू, मतलब वो in the sense अच्छी बातें हैं जो करनी चाहिए, जो करनी चाहिए. And adoption of Panch Mahavrat. 5 vows. What are they? ब्रह्मचर्य एंड अपरिग्रह. ये हमने देख लिया था क्या है. ठीक है. एंड हेंस ब्रह्मचर्य महावीर स्वामी जी ने लास्ट में ऐड किया है. 4 वर गिवन बाय पारसनाथ जी एंड बट दिस इज पार्ट ऑफ एंशिएंट हिस्ट्री, नॉट फिलोसफी. है ना? इफ यू वांट टू नो द फैक्ट ऑफ एंशिएंट हिस्ट्री, यस, ब्रह्मचर्य वाज एडेड बाय लॉर्ड महावीर. Now you can also write here that there is a classification of Mahavrat and Anuvrat. Mahavrat is for monks and Anuvrat is for common people, householders. Householders matlab grahast log. So if a person is living a normal life, can they actually practice absolute ahimsa? They will have to do some work. They will have to move here and there in vehicles. They will have to eat food, vegetables. It's not possible for them to practice absolute ahimsa, but they should practice as much as possible. Satya again. Monks should practice absolute truth, Satya, and householders should practice as much as possible. Similar is Aste Brahmacharya. So Brahmacharya means celibacy. For monks, it is absolute. For grahast or householders, it's like having monogamy, one partner, not to go wandering here and there. Similarly, aparigrah. Monks should adopt Mahavrat or major vow. This means they should not possess anything, but householders can possess limited possessions. Limited possessions होनी चाहिए, लेकिन अंतहीन possessions होनी चाहिए क्या? They should donate. और इसी के साथ जैनिज्म. अच्छा, लिबरेशन भी लिख लो. हाँ, लिखो लिबरेशन. ये सब प्रिंटेड नोट्स में वैसे मिल जाएगा आपको, है ना? नो प्रॉब्लम. बुकलेट्स तो मिलेंगी ना? मिलेंगे यार. बुकलेट लेकर आओ यार. बच्चों को तो बुकलेट्स की शक्ल भी नहीं दिखाई हमने. हाँ, फोन क्यों आ गया था? मतलब दिखाओ. So this is the books you will get. This is for Western philosophy. Similar you will get for Indian philosophy. Fine. तो एक्स्ट्रा रीडिंग करने का मन भी हो तो इधर उधर जाने की इसमें से कर लेना. देखो मर्जी है, हर इंसान की अपनी मर्जी होती है, यू नो एवरी पर्सन हैज देयर ओन वे ऑफ स्टडिंग, फाइन. हाँ, everybody has their own way of studying. If you so generally and ideally your class notes are sufficient. You don't require anything else. Yeah? But there is always this lust, greed. Have you read No Passions? Huh? This lust and greed will always be there for new notes, more material, more this, more that. Fine. If something is missing, so you have read your notes, and after reading your class notes, you get bored. You feel like, no, I want to read something more. There are certain topics which are fine in PYQs and which are not maybe in the class notes. So let me read printed notes. Then have command over your printed notes. Fine. Huh? हाँ, और ये भी बात हम जानते ही हैं that a person inflicted with काम, क्रोध, लोभ, माया doesn't get liberated, and they are bound to give reattempt, that is rebirth. Very simple funda. So printed notes you can read. Printed notes बहुत मेहनत करिए, पढ़ लेना, ऐसी कोई बात नहीं है ना? But you can read printed notes, but not at the expense of learning. याद करना जरूरी है. देखो, पढ़ तो सब रहे हैं. If you say around like 2 lakh people are here in Rajendra Nagar, ज्यादा ही होंगे. Everybody is reading. पढ़ तो सब रहे हैं, याद किसे है? Everybody knows from where to read. है ना? If I ask you, like anybody of you, बताओ, तुम ही बताओ, कहाँ से पढ़नी चाहिए हिस्ट्री? एनसीईआरटी से स्टार्ट करना चाहिए. वेरी गुड. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट. हाँ, हिस्ट्री स्पेक्ट्रम. वेरी गुड. और बताओ. बिपिन चंद्रा. वेरी गुड. ग्रोवर. मैं भी बताऊंगी एक दो नाम. ग्रोवर. कोचिंग के नोट्स, अपने नोट्स, एक्स के नोट्स, वाई के नोट्स, जेड के नोट्स, ये तो सबको पता है. अब बात करते हैं, have you read them? Have you read NCERTs completely? Can I ask you a question from NCERTs? And can you claim that you will not be wrong? Yeah. Bas. Can you see? Can you see? It's not about whether you have notes or not. It's not about how many notes are there in the market. What matters is how much you have read and how much is in your mind first. So don't get into the myth. ये बढ़िया notes, वो बढ़िया notes. सब notes बढ़िया होते हैं, सब बेकार होते हैं. अगर याद है तो घटिया notes भी काम आ जाएंगे, और अगर याद नहीं है तो अच्छे notes भी टेलीग्राम के अंदर डाउनलोडेड पड़े. They will not be useful. Can you say UPSC exam? I have downloaded them. Yes. Can you say that to UPSC? This means whatever notes you have, this should be in your mind. And if you find that something is in the questions which you are not able to find in your class notes, no issues in going and reading the printed notes. Go and refer them. Fine. If you feel like I have gained sufficient command over the class notes and printed notes, then go and buy C.D. Sharma. I already told you, right? There are 2-3 books on Indian philosophy. They are good books. C.D. Sharma, Dattayan Chatterjee, and there is another book, Hiranya. Good books. Good books. जाओ एक बुक खरीद लो, इम्प्रूव कर लो, फिर जाओ दूसरी बुक खरीद लो जब वो हो जाए. बट पहले have command over your class notes. Until unless you have learned these, don't go and read printed notes. Until unless you have remembered or imbibed all the words and the points in your printed notes, don't go and buy a book. जब ये हो जाए तो अगला स्टेप बुक है. ओके, लिबरेशन इज अगेन ऑफ टू काइंड्स. वहां पे लिख लो, रीड फ्रॉम प्रिंटेड नोट्स. और लिबरेशन इज ऑफ टू टाइप्स, सहयोग एंड अयोग. So even after liberation or nirvana or Kaivalya, Mahavir Bhagwan continued to exist even after enlightenment. And he was doing the basic things like talking, eating, walking. But why did he not accumulate the karmas? Nishkam karma, or actions without any desire or passions. He was not acting out of lust, anger, moha and maya. He was not acting under this. He was, but why was he still existing even after finishing all the karmas? Yes. So there were, it's like the balance is zero, but yet there are certain karmas which one has to finish, like आयु कर्म. आयु का बंधन जितना है उतना तो पूरा करना ही पड़े. Have you known such people जिन्होंने सुसाइड करने की 1000 बार कोशिश कर ली, मर ही नहीं पा रहे? हाँ, गोली भी ऐसे निकल जाएगी, वो पीछे ना दो मसल्स के बीच से निकल जाएगी. हाँ? Yes, so there are certain karmas which one has to complete, and it is explained on the basis of potter's wheel. तो अगर कोई potter's की wheel move कर रही है, if it is running at a very fast speed, if you stop, does it stop immediately? It keeps on moving, or because of the momentum it has gained. It takes a little time to stop. Similarly, there are certain karmas, though everything has been exhausted, all the karmas have been nearly removed, but हमने देखा था घातिया न घातिया, those karmas, नाम कर्म, गोत्र कर्म and आयु कर्म, all these karmas, they cannot be exhausted easily. They get exhausted only when one dies. तो ये वाला जो केवल ज्ञान है, सहयोग केवली, ये हमें कब मिल जाता है? कौन से कर्म एग्जॉस्ट करने में मिल जाता है? अघातिया. अघातिया कि घातिया? घातिया. पक्का देख लो एक बार नोट्स. पक्का? और ये अघाती. So when Mahavir Bhagwan attained, or any Tirthankar attained liberation or Kaivalya, they were Sayog Kevalis, but they existed after that till they reached Ayog Kevali, and Ayog Kevali is nothing but Tirthankar. Tirthankarhood. Tirthankarhood matlab Arhathood, Tirthankarhood. Basically, they become Tirthankar and they go to Siddhashila. मैम क्लास नोट्स याद हो जाएं, बहुत है मैम, इन लिमिटेड टाइम. यस ऑफ कोर्स. हाँ, liberated souls, basically they accept that all the souls are in this cycle only. And they say initially the nature of soul is like that. They are not talking about any pre-passion souls. Pre-passion कुछ था ही नहीं उनके हिसाब से, तो सब पैशनेट souls है इस वक्त, है ना? सब पैशनेट souls है. सिर्फ जो लिबरेट हो गए वो क्या बन गए? तीर्थंकर्स और लिबरेटेड सोल. फाइन, ओके.
इसकी हमको पता है कोई फूड तीर्थंकर ग्रुप्स कौन से हैं, तो वैसे क्या होता है उनके काउंट रखते हैं क्या उनके लिए कौन सा है?
So there are in every era there have been many Tirthankaras, and there is a proper list. Yes, a list has been maintained. Yeah? पूर्व के 24 तीर्थंकर, उससे भी पूर्व के 24 तीर्थंकर, and even the future Tirthankars are decided. The souls which are in the journey, which will reach, decided in the sense, most probably they will reach. And it is said it includes the soul of Ravan, Krishna. There, I told you. So there is a lovely blend of Hinduism and Jainism, which is very beautiful in nature. So they accept that there was this Krishna Bhagwan which was operating, not Bhagwan, a person with the name Krishna who was operating, and they accept Gita and everything, Mahabharata, etc. But they consider that because of the karmas, Krishna Bhagwan or Krishna, the soul of Krishna, is still under birth and death cycle, and they are still trying to improve their karmas. And there will come a time when the karmas of the soul of such people will also be improved, and they will, when their balance will be zero, they will also become बहुत बड़ा ही बहुत बड़े, but it's like thousands of years. आएंगे फ्यूचर में आएंगे, बट हम तब चिंता मत करो, हमारे आगे नहीं आ रहे. हाँ नहीं तो तुम्हें ऐसा क्यों लग रहा है? हाँ, बिल्कुल. That's the beauty. That's what I'm saying now. Aja, how many of you know? How many of you have seen the Dash Avatar? Acha, what is the newest avatar that has been added? But has how many of you know that Buddha is also added as a avatar of Krishna? How can Buddhism be an avatar? Buddha be an avatar of Krishna when Buddha rejected Vedas? This is the beauty whereby we include, we declude, we merge a lot of things. So बहुत अच्छा सा blending है, beautiful blending. ठीक है, done. So Jain philosophy is done. Let us see few questions. Are we able to do them? अच्छा ये और देख लेते हैं इससे पहले. So there is these 14 gunsthanas. Nothing, the journey, the path. एक सीढ़ी. वैसे कभी पूछा नहीं है, but well, just for your knowledge. So it starts with mithyatva. Mithyatva means bad knowledge, bad faith. है ना? Then slowly and steadily. ये सब याद करने नहीं है नाम. है ना? This is just for your understanding, a basic representation. That with each step, people become what? More towards liberation. They first become Sayog Kevali, and then they become Ayog Kevali, and with this annihilation, they go to Siddhashila. So there are 14 steps on which they take. And if a sadhu, if on this ladder, if a sadhu becomes deviated from the path, they move away from the liberation. People they may start good, but they can get deviated. Just that. Then this is the symbol of Jain cosmology. Fine. So this is what? Nark. This is Nark. This is what? Devlok, where demigods, etc. are living. This small area, according to them, is our universe. यूनिवर्स मतलब जितना हम लोगों का ये हम करते रहते ना, ये प्लैनेट, मिल्की वे, गैलेक्सी, all of these things is Madhyalok, where human beings and animals can exist. Beyond this, there is this Narklok and Swarglok, and Beyond this is this small area of Siddhalok, and after this is Lokakash. All of this is Lokakash, and beyond this, इस symbol के बाहर सब क्या है? Alokakash. Cosmology, simple basic cosmology. This is also the representation of like one sense, two sense, three sense, and organs. चाहो तो ये खींच लो, फोटो खींचनी है तो क्या पीपीटी दे देंगे आप लोगों को, है ना, उस पर डलवा देती हूँ मैं आप लोगों के टेलीग्राम पे, है ना, टेलीग्राम पे डलवा देते हैं. So this is again the same thing, a different way of representation. यहाँ पे हमने थोड़ा सा इसके अंदर ये सब भी डाल दिए. नो कषायास, हंसना, बोर होना, डर लगना, ये सब कषाय नहीं है. हंसना कोई कषाय नहीं है. रोना, अब किस बात पे हंसना है ना. हाँ, तो that it is just an explanation. Okay, this is again a kind of what do you say, one pager. थोड़ा सा कॉम्प्लेक्स है, लेकिन अगर एक बार समझ में आ जाएगा तो आसान है. नहीं दिख रहा क्या? देख लेना, तुम्हें डलवा दे. ठीक है, इसमें ऐसा कुछ न्यू इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं है, इट्स द ओल्ड इन्फॉर्मेशन बट रिप्रेजेंटेड इन अ मैनर, कंसाइज मैनर. ओके, क्वेश्चंस कहाँ है? हाँ हाँ, ओके, बताओ. कर सकते हो फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन? इज देयर एनीवन हैविंग एनी ट्रबल? Everybody can do it? Okay. Explain the Jain view of Sapbhangine. Can do it? Then, अरे वैसे repeated question ही नहीं है. अच्छा, मुझे लगा तुम लोगों को अभी तक नहीं दिखा. अच्छा, दिख जाएगा. Examine the concept of karma according to Jainism. How does it bear upon the conception of liberation? So you will talk about karmas, karm pudgal, 8 types of karmas, and ayog and sayog kevli. Okay. Of course, ashrav, band, sambar and nirjana. बात करोगे ये सब? How is reality defined by Jainas? क्या लिखोगे? Reality means Dravya and Anekantvad. Okay. How is this theory of reality reflected in their views on judgments? Syadvad. How do the Jaina philosophy explain bondage? What according to them is the distinction between liberated soul and bound soul? What do the Jainas think about the condition of liberated souls? हाँ, सब वही बात करेंगे. ऑफ कोर्स कुछ है ही नहीं. बॉन्डेज लिबरेशन वाला जितना हमने पढ़ा है वो डालोगे. देन liberated soul, sayog, ayog, kevali, they will move to Siddhshala and everything like this. अभी तुम्हारी capability है. You know all the things. How you put it is your capability. Criticism देंगे. How many criticisms we have written for Syadvad? 8. तुमने लिखे, तुम्हें नहीं याद है. ये बनेंगे ऑफिसर. हाँ, मैंने तो 80 बोला है. No, you will tell the story. First you will tell what it is, then you will criticize, and last you will defend. स्यादवाद का मेजरली अभी लिखवा अच्छा लिखवा देती हूँ, थोड़े से और डिस्कस कर लेते हैं. बॉन्डेज लिबरेशन के भी क्रिटिसिज्म लिख लो. बताओ क्या होंगे, खुद सोच के बताओ. अनवेरिफाइबल किसने देखी है शिशिला? अनवेरिफाइबल ये सब मिल जाएगा, ये सब आपके प्रिंटेड नोट्स में पढ़ा हुआ है, बट दे आर इट्स लाइक टू सिंपल, दैट इज व्हाई इट्स नॉट देयर. अभी करवा भी देती हूँ, लिखवा भी दूंगी 4-4 5-5 पॉइंट, ठीक है ना? वी कैन राइट. पर वैसे क्रिटिसिज्म जो स्यादवाद का और अनेकांतवाद का उतना ही बहुत है. हाँ प्रिंटेड नोट्स में है, बट स्टिल एक एक लाइन लिख लेना यार, कोई बात नहीं है. राइट शॉर्ट आंसर ऑन अनेकांतवाद, स्यादवाद. डिफरेंशिएट द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ कैवल्य एज डिस्कस्ड बाय जैन. योग तो भी आपको पता नहीं है, बट जैन का कैवल्य पता है. एग्जामिन द जैन स्टेंस ऑफ नय. हाउ डज इट डिफर फ्रॉम स्यादवाद? नय का कॉन्सेप्ट क्या है? The way we speak without adding any relativity. Syadvad is adding relativity, and the moment you say Syadvad, it means having sevenfold सप्तभंगी ने. फिर वही आ गया सप्तभंगी ने. तो यहाँ पे शुरुआत कहाँ से करोगे? नॉलेज को एक्सप्रेस करने के क्या तरीके हो सकते हैं? दुर्नीति, न्याय एंड प्रमाण. दुर्नीति तो करनी ही नहीं चाहिए. न्याय इज अगेन अनक्वालिफाइड. We should talk in Praman, and when we start talking in Praman, it becomes Syadvad, and Syadvad is expressed in Saptabhangi name. Can Tattvarth theory of Jainism be accepted? ये हम अलग से करेंगे, लेकिन ये हम कब करेंगे? जब हम बुद्धिज्म और जैनिज्म वेदांत भी पढ़ लेंगे, क्योंकि इसको हम तब समझ पाएंगे. तत्वार्थ सूत्र बहुत ही प्यारी सी चीज है, छोटा सा ही है, बहुत बड़ा नहीं है. अगर हम समझने की कोशिश करें, व्हाट इज तत्व? सब्सटेंस. तत्व मीन्स एनी सब्सटेंस. अर्थ. मीनिंग. व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ और रियलिटी? दिस वी विल डू, बट वी विल डू इट एट द एंड, राइट? क्योंकि इसका आंसर आप तभी बेहतर लिख पाओगे. राइट शॉर्ट आंसर ऑन जैन कंसेप्ट ऑफ द्रव्य. What will you write? Okay. What do Samvar and Nirjara mean? Explain their significance. Explain the concept of karma. Discuss various types according to Jain philosophy. You can write. ये तो बहुत ही factual question है. Analyze the relation between theory of Saptabhanginaya and Anekantvad. Repeated question. Critically evaluate Jain doctrine of relative pluralism or Anekantvad. A simple Anekantvad. Why Saptabhanginaya is not treated as doctrine of skepticism? Defense of Jainism. What according to Jainism is path to liberation? हाँ वही आश्रव, बंध, सांवर, निर्जरा. इस स्यादवाद अ सेल्फ कॉन्ट्रडिक्टरी डॉक्ट्रिन. कौन कहेगा सेल्फ कॉन्ट्रडिक्टरी है? वेदांत. और जैनिज्म क्या एक्सप्लेनेशन देगा? नहीं, बिकॉज वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट रिलेटिविटी. अनेकांतवाद शॉर्ट नोट्स. नेचर ऑफ पुद्गल इन जैन फिलॉसफी. पुद्गल इज व्हाट? कर्मा. यू विल आल्सो राइट अबाउट दैट पुद्गल. अनुसंघात एंड ऑल. ओके. एक्सप्लेन द थ्योरी ऑफ सब्सटेंस. सब्सटेंस क्या है? द्रव्य. रिपीटेड क्वेश्चन. जैन डेफिनेशन ऑफ द्रव्य. अगेन रिपीटेड. स्टेट एंड डिस्कस जैन डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ जीवा और सोल. अनेकांतवाद, explanation of that. Relation between अनेकांतवाद and सप्तभंगी ने again repeated question. From 2001 till 2000, how many years? यही क्वेश्चंस आए जैनिज्म में. वैसे मैं बताती हूँ एक और तरीका. देखो, इस साल आया अनेकांतवाद और सप्तभंगी ने, अगले साल अनेकांत, फिर आया जीव, फिर द्रव्य. 2 साल द्रव्य आ गया, तीसरा साल भी द्रव्य आ गया. फिर इन्होंने कहा 3 साल एक साथ पूछ लिया. लेट अस स्टार्ट विद वापस से अनेकांतवाद, फिर स्यादवाद, फिर लिबरेशन. लिबरेशन, जीव, ये सब तो एक ही टाइप के क्वेश्चन है ना. फिर स्यादवाद, बेसिकली स्यादवाद, फिर अनेकांतवाद, फिर स्यादवाद, फिर थ्योरी ऑफ कर्मा. कर्मा, लिबरेशन, ये सब तो एक टाइप का ही क्वेश्चन है. फिर दोबारा से वही लिबरेशन, फिर सब्सटेंस. इसको छोड़ दो, ये एक एब्रप्शन है, मतलब इसे कहना चाहिए anomaly. It has never been asked, it will never be asked easily. Then ne is again Syadvad, then liberation, Anekantvad, then liberation, then Anekantvad and Syadvad, फिर कर्मा मतलब दोबारा से लिबरेशन, स्यादवाद. तो कितने टॉपिक हैं? क्या है वो? If the question is on Anekantvad, will you write Syadvad and liberation? If the question is on Syadvad, will you write Anekantvad and liberation? If the question is on liberation, will you write Anekantvad and Syadvad? लिखना तीनों ही है, लेकिन क्या डिफर करेगा? प्रपोज. क्लियर? ओके. बुद्धिज्म स्टार्ट करें. हाँ, कहानी तो सुननी है ना. कहानी सुनेंगे आराम से बैठ के. मैम just wanted to ask that is there any trick to learn Hindi words easily? Just repeat them many times. So, you know, when I started my philosophy preparation, I remember I felt like that I will never be able to remember this Ashrav, Band, Samvar and Nirjara. But after I revised it for a few times, it became like second lingo. You can easily speak these words and write these words. It's just about revision. Syllabus is not much. What is most important thing here? More you revise, better you will get. Very, very, very easy. So no rocket science about it. More you revise, more marks you will get. You can see the type of questions that are asked. Are they difficult? Questions are easy. Content is limited and easy. What is required from your end? Revision and answer writing practice. Revision and answer writing practice. Currently, you will be like, हाँ, अनेकांतवाद लिख देंगे, स्यादवाद लिख देंगे. But when you start writing, you will feel like how to concise it properly, how to link अनेकांतवाद with स्यादवाद, and how to link it with liberation. Now, this is the trick that you have to evolve. This is practice. Else, material has been there with all the students earlier also. It's currently also with you, and it will be there for future aspirants also. But why only few get selected? Content and writing, खत्म. ये 2 चीजें हैं. तो अपना आपको अपने हिसाब से, अपनी टैलेंट के हिसाब से, अपने प्रैक्टिस के हिसाब से, you have to work on your writing skills. Fine? Okay. नीचे रखो. How many of you know about the story of Gautam Buddha? How many of you don't know? ये क्या था? ऐसा? Okay. So there is a story that Siddharth was born. Who was Siddharth? The Buddha's earlier name, Siddharth. He was born to a Lichvi kingdom, in a Lichvi kingdom. To क्या नाम के पिताजी के नाम क्या है? शुद्धोधन. And mother? अरे यार एंशिएंट हिस्ट्री में भी नहीं पढ़ा. हर साल क्वेश्चन आता है बुद्धिज्म से प्रीलिम्स में. देखो अगर पढ़ नहीं पा रहे हो तो देख लो कम से कम चीजें अच्छी. There is a very good series Indonesian made on Netflix or somewhere, सिद्धार्थ या बुद्ध के नाम से ये सीधा सिद्धार्थ या बुद्ध. Lovely series, beautifully made. जब खाली होते हो, जब फ्री होते हो तो क्या देखते हो? रील्स. जैसे एक दिन बुद्ध का चला लो, एक दिन महावीर का चला लो, एक दिन कोई और ऐसी चीज देख लो. It helps to elevate your knowledge, which can be used in various ways. Like I remember I watched that series and a question in prelims came कि कहाँ पे बुद्धा ने विजिट किया है. मूवी में देखा था उन्होंने, करा है शरावस्ती में विजिट, यहाँ किया है वहां किया है, हो गया आंसर है ना. तो कई बार बहुत सारी चीजें ऐसे भी प्रीलिम्स या ये सब भी ऐसे भी क्लियर होते हैं. बट इट इज लाइक आप लोगों को थोड़ा ऑब्जर्वेंट होना पड़ेगा. ओके फाइन. सो कहानी ऐसे शुरू होती है कि जो शुद्धोधन और माया होते हैं, दे हैव दिस बेबी सिद्धार्थ, एंड वन guru came, one rishi just came and he said ki let me do a bhavishyavani for the kid. This kid will become a very great sage who will turn the complete way of thinking of the world, and he will be very, very influential master or a teacher. So that the king became really worried. Shuddhodhan, he became really worried. Like मेरा बेटा तो राजा बनेगा, ये क्या साधु वाधु बनने की बातें कर रहे हैं. कहते अगर आपने इसको बचा लिया, if you could save him, then he will become a great king also. But he is more predisposed to become a sage, a great sage, great sage. Now Shuddhodhan became really worried. He did not want his son to become sage. So he created a kind of a false atmosphere around him of complete happiness. He realized that when do we become more spiritual in our nature? When we are happy or when we are sad? Sad. He said, let us remove everything which can be sad or which can give any kind of sadness to my child. So he removed all the dead, all the ill people from the palaces, all the old people from the palaces, and surrounded Prince Siddharth with all kinds of pleasures and all kinds of luxuries, all kinds. He had different palaces for different seasons, different all the kinds of alcohol, all the kinds of women which were the prettiest and everything. So all the kinds of games, gambling, everything he surrounded his son with. Only reason was that he should become indulged in these luxuries and should not leave the palace or the kingdom, rather become a king and not a sage. And that is why early on he was married to the most beautiful princess of all times in that era, Yashodhara. And he also had a son named Rahul. And now this Siddharth was a very, very deep thinker, but he had never been exposed to any sadness. So that is why he could not even have any glimpse of what the reality was. Then one night he became really dissatisfied. He wanted to see the world beyond palace. He wanted to see what the country looked like. So he took his friend and a charioteer and उसने कहा चलो घूम कर आते हैं. तो बैठ गए वो चैरिट में, वो लोग गए. First they saw a sick man. He said, why is this man doing, looking like this? Prince, you don't know? Siddharth, nahi kya? Kehte, this is illness. And anybody can get illness, and everybody will get illness some or the other point of times in life. They will get ill. I will also get ill. Maybe. Everybody gets ill. Yes, sometimes they get ill. Okay. Why do we get ill? Body hai to ill to hogi na. If you have a body, then you can get sick. It was like, okay. They came back. Next day they again went. This time they saw an old man. Now this old man was, walking in a very slow manner, in a very tired manner, in a very burdensome manner. And his shoulders were drooping. He was looking like a crumbled piece of paper. And he was walking with extreme difficulty. Siddharth said, oh, what kind of person is this? He said, he's an old man. Siddharth said, what is old? Prince, you don't know old? Everybody gets old. And when you get old, you get sick also. And whenever you are old, the bones, muscles, and everything becomes weak. There is pain. He says, everyone will become old. Me, you will also become old. You're my father. He'll also get old. So he became really worried that he himself will become old. This worried him. He says, when does this oldness arrive? He says, we are getting older day by day. Each day we are getting older. They came back. And then again, they went out. This time they met. They saw a funeral procession, a dead man. Some people were going with this old man crying. Oh, sorry, dead man crying. अर्थी के ऊपर ले जा रहे थे और लोग रोते हुए जा रहे थे. So people were crying and the man was not moving. Then Siddharth again asked, why is this man not moving? The friend said, he's dead. He said, dead matlab? He said that this man will never wake up again. He's dead. He's finished. Gone forever. He says, gone forever means, will he not wake up again? No. It's not like illness? No. It's not, isn't it like an oldness? No. It is death. Death means gone. He said, who are the people who get dead? Then the friend says, all of us will get dead. All of us will be meeting death. Siddharth became really troubled. He said, my mother will die. My father, my wife, my son, will I also die? His friend said, you will also die. It was a really troubled mind he was having. Then next day again he went out. This time he saw a sage, a sadhu. And that sadhu was very smiling, shining, happy, and was moving around freely with nothing, with possessing nothing. He was not having expensive clothes, expensive cars, this or that. He was not having. He was very happy. He was in his happiness, moving from here and there, here and there. And so Siddharth asked, who is this man and why is he happy? So the friend again said that he's a sadhu. He's not possessing anything and he has attained a spiritual knowledge. That is why he is happy. So they came back, and this was too much of disturbance for a profound thinker like Siddharth. तो बहुत सोचने लगे कि यार मरना क्या होता है, जीना क्या होता है, and all that stuff he was thinking about. Then one night, as the parties were usually very common in palaces. So there was this party in which, of course, Siddharth was also participating. And there were a lot of dancers and alcoholic drinks and everything was there. So a full on party was there. है ना? तो party एकदम बढ़िया चल रही थी. Siddharth enjoyed and he came back. He came back, but his mind was not at peace. So he strolled outside. तो वो बाहर ऐसे घूमने गया और चलते चलते वो वहीं पहुंच गया जहाँ पे पार्टी थी. But after the party ended, he saw that everybody was just lying there in a very haphazard manner. Even the dancers were lying without proper decorum. Somebody was lying there, they were vomiting, there was things were tumbled upon, कोई glass कहीं पड़ा है, कुछ कहीं सब गंदा हुआ हुआ. Everything was pretty bad. So this troubled Siddharth. He said that what I saw earlier, was this the reality, or what I'm seeing now, is this the reality? He realized the difference between the perceived reality, what he knows, is very different from what he doesn't know. And this made him really virakt. Virakt means vairagya. Vairagya means detached. He felt sudden detachment from the all things materialistic, all things luxurious. He wanted to know the reality, and he realized that if pleasures are also bound with pain, so let me first know why do we get pain? What is the reason of dukh? अब उनको ये सत्य जानना था, reality जाननी थी, निकल पड़े. So one night he left all the belongings and went away to become a sadhu. Actually, he did not leave to become a sadhu, rather he just wanted to know the truth. वो सिर्फ सच जानने निकले थे कि सच पता चल जाएगा, I will come back. I will come back and meet my family, and rather he just wanted to know the truth. तो जब वो चले, सबसे पहले वो एक कर्मकांडी ब्राह्मण के यहाँ गए. How many of you have read the book Siddharth by Herman Hesse? No one? Good. Yes. So there's a lovely book, Siddharth by Herman Hesse. बहुत पतली सी छोटी सी किताब है. Select हो जाओ फिर पढ़ लेना. So rather वो वहां से गए और वहां पे उन्होंने he learned about the Vedic theories and everything. But he could not find, he did not realize, he did not feel that this is the truth. So after spending some time, he moved on. Then he met certain other followers of mortification processes. Mortification processes in the sense, like very, very strict penance giving people, like Jains. It is said that they met Jain sadhus, or it is said that there are certain other schools also that were popular at that time. Buddha met one of them. So he saw कि बहुत सारे लोग जो है ना बड़ी extreme तपस्या कर रहे हैं. Extreme तपस्या means not eating for 10 days straight, not drinking water for 10 days straight, or standing in sun for long hours, standing in water and doing self-discipline. So there were these people, and Buddha joined them. And Buddha also started with the same processes, because according to them, something will be revealed at the end of that self-discipline, which will be the reality. So Buddha also started starving, doing all the kinds of tapasya, standing in dhoop, or standing in this hot shining sun and everything. And he became thin like a paper. एकदम पतले हो गए, जान नहीं बची, हड्डियां हड्डियां दिखने लगी उनकी एकदम. But he still continued. He still continued with all the penance, etc. लेकिन उन्हें कुछ मिल नहीं रहा था. But he still continued. That one day he became unconscious because of starvation. And in that unconscious state, a lady came to his rescue. Her name was Sujata. Yes. So she came and she fed Buddha with some sweet thing, like something like kheer. तो उन्हें खीर खिलाई. And the first time, after a long time, Buddha realized how important is to have food. So he relished it and he said that whatever practices these people have been following is not the right path. Definitely not the right path. And because Buddha had taken kheer from the Sujata, from that lady, his own compatriots or his own people who were accompanying him in these practices, जो उसके संग के लोग थे उस वक्त के, those people started shunning and making fun of Buddha. They made fun of Buddha like, he will attain liberation. He who can't even stay hungry for a few days. He who broke his vrat or fast on the pretext of having kheer from the hands of a woman and all of these things. Thus he separated, he moved out because he realized this is not the right path for truth. And of course, those people also expelled him because he had broken some rule. So he moved away and he wandered in jungle and he started doing meditation. And in his meditation, he started meditating on the reality of life. What is the reality? Is everything permanent? No. He said, no, everything is not permanent. Everything is rather momentary, changing. Is your thought process the same? Changing every moment? Material things? Changing every moment? Every moment means every moment. In 1 second, how many cells change in your body? Lakhs and lakhs of cells change in a single second. How many of you think that this is stationary or this is not changing? It is changing. It is made up of atoms. In atoms, what is it made up of? Neutrons, protons, and electrons. Neutrons, protons, and electrons. Are they changing? Yes. Each moment they are changing. There is a continuous movement and change in this. Buddha realized this. He said, definitely, nothing is permanent in this world, and only thing that is permanent is change. Everything is changing. Everything exists for a moment. Momentary. Anityavad. Shanikvad. ये हम बताऊंगी मैं terms क्या है. But he said, reality is changing. Reality is changing. And do you become attached to a thing that changes frequently? उससे प्यार होगा क्या आपको? Should you get attached to that? No. He says, सारा दुख ही तो इसी बात से चालू हुआ. We are getting attached to something which is not permanent. Like, अब उसको समझने के लिए, you get a friend's offer, girl or boy, depending on your own gender, that let us enter into a relationship, but it will be for 1 week or 1 month or till the time we are preparing, whatever you feel like. So the age is defined. So will you get attached? But what if you get attached? What is bound to happen then? Pain. Pain is bound to happen. So what is the root cause of pain? Attachment to what? Something which is temporary or momentary, isn't it? Similarly, he realized that our body, our existence itself, rather our identity, is very temporary. And just because we get attached to it, it is the reason of sorrow and pain we find in this world. This means that if I remove this ego or attachment, pain will also go. He contemplated over this. बहुत contemplation किया करता, बहुत ध्यान लगाया. Then he was attacked by Mara. Mara is nothing but passions. So when you are meditating, if somebody tells you, don't think about elephant, you think about, this is how our mind works. So अब आप जब कल्चर की बुक पढ़ोगे तो उसमें एक आएगा मेंशन एक पेंटिंग का, अटैक ऑफ मारा. मारा इज नथिंग बट passions of our mind. So he still continued with his meditation, and at the end he got enlightenment. This enlightenment is the knowledge of Pratitya Samutpad. Pratitya Samutpad. It's a 12 wheel or 12 link wheel. 12 लिंक है जो उनको समझ में आ गए कि क्यों सफरिंग होती है, why is there suffering and why is there sadness. जब इन्हें ये समझ में आ गया, the moment he realized the देखो, one thing is to know the truth, another thing is to realize the truth, and the moment he realized the truth, he became liberated, जीवन मुक्त. He was liberated, जीवन मुक्त. And with this जीवन मुक्ति, he became what? Buddha. He did 7 revisions of his meditative state. उन्होंने कहा एक बार तो सत्य पता चल गया, लेकिन ये सत्य याद रखने के लिए क्या जरूरी है? जैसे तुम्हें नोट्स याद रखने के लिए क्या जरूरी है? So Buddha did 7 revisions of his own understanding of ultimate truth. अलग अलग जगह बैठे मेडिटेशन किया, हर बार सेम रिजल्ट. He said this is the truth. And with this, he became Buddha. And once he became Buddha, he wanted to tell somebody else of the knowledge he has gained. Then he realized कि इसको बताऊं. और उन्होंने सोचा पहले वो जो थे ना, जो वो इनिशियल वाले टीचर्स हैं उनको बताते हैं, लेकिन वो रहे नहीं थे. They were all dead. Then he thought कि चलो उनको बताते हैं, जो ये मेरे फ्रेंड्स थे ना, जो सेल्फ मॉडिफिकेशन करते थे और बहुत सारी तपस्या करते थे. So he went to them. He met them and gave his first sermon. And after his first sermon, all the 5 friends, all the other colleagues he had, they became the Buddhist. And this was the starting of Buddhist Sangh. He went many places, and wherever he gave a sermon, wherever he propounded, people became really mad about, Buddhism. Mad about in the sense, like they become really excited about it. बहुत बड़ा संघ हो गया, बहुत लोगों ने ज्वाइन किया, प्रोमिनेंट लोगों ने ज्वाइन किया, उनकी खुद के बच्चे ने, बीवी ने, माँ ने, सब ने ज्वाइन किया बुद्धिज्म. And lot of kings supported it. Supported Ashok, of course we know. Apart from that, Ashok Kushok तो बहुत बात के, उनके टाइम के अंदर भी बहुत अजात शत्रु and all these people helped him. अब ये देखो important prelims का question है, contemporaries of Buddha. Option 1 Mahavir, option 2 Ajat Shatru, option 3 Ashok, option 4 Chandragupta Maurya. मुझे क्या पता, थोड़ी मेहनत करो, सब मैं ही बता दूंगी. तो बात समझ में आ रही है? And after he gave sermon and the sangha become very very large. He had a disciple Anand with him, and Anand usually kept along with him. बहुत उनके साथ में रहते थे, उनकी बातें सुनते थे, and everything he heard, most of the things he heard what Buddha said. But during the time period of Buddha, nothing was written. Everything was only transferred orally. And this oral transmission was recorded in the minds of people, but nothing was recorded on paper. After he died, and actually why the controversy was created, because during the teachings of Buddha, he did not answer any metaphysical and epistemological question. Buddhist theory is not like usual philosophies. Buddha did not give any metaphysics and neither did he give any epistemology. He said, ये सब तो बेकार की बातें हैं. पहले, what is necessary to find the solution of the problem? That is dukh. That how can we remove dukh from the world? He said, let us first think about this question and only then we can talk about any other thing. और उनका बाकी चीज की बात करने की जरूरत ही क्या है? अल्टीमेटली क्या जरूरत है? दुख हटाओ, आम खाओ, पुतलियां क्यों गिननी है? Something like this. So, with this, he did not answer metaphysical questions and if anybody asked him, कभी अगर बुद्धा के पास जाके आप ये पूछोगे, बुद्धा भगवान है? Buddha will just say, he will not say anything. He will just smile. बुद्धा भगवान नहीं है फिर? Same smile. He neither said yes, he neither said no. He said this is a futile question. If you go and ask him, is the soul permanent? He will say, pata hai. Is the soul temporary? He did not answer. So there are a complete set of 14 questions which he did not answer. And those 14 questions became what? Avyaktani. Avyaktani means something which has not been said. Vyakt means bolna, tani, group. So 14 questions which were not expressed by Buddha, which were not said anything about by Buddha. तो बुद्धा ने उनके अंदर क्या अडॉप्ट किया था? Silence, absolute silence. Anybody who asked these 14 questions was not getting any answer from Buddha. But after Buddha died, people and all his disciples started contemplating after few years or few, 100 years. There was this contemplation. अव्यक्तानि. दोनों स्पेलिंग्स में क्या अंतर है? अव्यक्तानि, व्यक्तानि, second one. So after Buddha died, some years ahead, the dispute arose. Dispute क्यों हो गया? All these disciples actually wanted to know metaphysical and epistemological things about philosophy. क्योंकि अभी क्या था, बुद्धिस्ट जाते थे, डिस्कस करते थे. वैदिक पीपल क्या बोलते थे? आपकी मेटाफिजिक्स क्या है? बुद्धिस्ट कहते थे हमारे पास तो कोई मेटाफिजिक्स ही नहीं है. फिर वो कहते थे आपकी एपिस्टेमोलॉजी क्या है? व्हाट इज योर एपिस्टेमोलॉजी? They could not say. So they wanted metaphysics and epistemology to gain upper hand with the other speakers and thinkers. But there was no metaphysics and epistemology given by Buddha. Therefore, they started interpreting the words of Buddha or the intentions of Buddha by themselves. And this led to more than 65 schools of Buddhism. Much more than that. Some say it is more than 200. Some say they are even more than 1000 schools of Buddhism. But if we see them in a concise manner, so majorly there are 4 schools of Buddhism, which are in our syllabus. Schools of Buddhism. 4 schools. And the interpretation of these schools vary so much. इतना ज्यादा अंतर है कि एक school, it talks about realism, and the last school talks about nihilism. Nihilism means nothing is there, and there is a school which talks about idealism. This means that people started interpreting the silence of Buddha in their own manner, and when they started interpreting, there was no uniformity. Buddhism became so different, so So Tantrika school thinks things are real, and Yogachar school thinks that only souls are real, and Shunyavad thinks neither the matter nor the souls, nothing is real. So diverse, इतनी diversity, same school, मानते क्या है वो लोग सब? Buddhism, but so much diversity. And the cause of diversity is Buddha's silence, which was interpreted by his disciples in their own manner. In their own manner. Now these schools, because these are interpretations, they deviated too much sometimes from the actual teachings of Buddha. बहुत अलग होते चले गए. And जैसे जैसे अलग होते चले गए, now very less people know what exactly was said by Buddha and what the schools are saying. Even now, how many of you have heard Zen Buddhism? Nichiren Buddha. There are some different types of Buddhism, which became popularized in Japan, Indonesia, there. And each country has developed its own kind of Buddhism. It is like socialism, because it has been worn by so many people, it has no shape, like a hat. अगर एक hat बहुत लोग पहन लेते हैं तो उसकी कोई shape बचती है? उसी तरह से Buddhism के साथ भी यही हुआ, that so many people have interpreted it in their own way, that what is exactly Buddhism, we can know only the original teachings, some original teachings which we know, which are common. But about metaphysical and epistemological questions, there is no uniformity. कोई कुछ भी कर सकता है उसमें, कुछ भी कर सकता है मतलब एक रियलिज्म मान लेगा, दूसरा आइडियलिज्म मान लेगा और तीसरा शून्यवाद निहिलिज्म मान लेगा, and all of them are still the schools of. First we will understand the original teachings of Buddha, and after that we will see the different schools. Clear? कल करते हैं, है ना? कल रीड करते हैं, ठीक है? कंटेक्स्ट, किस कंटेक्स्ट में आप उसको इंटरप्रेट करो, पहले लिख के आओ. एलएमएस पे डले हुए हैं पीवाई के. Ma'am, how meditation leads to enlightenment? It leads to, according to Buddhism. So I don't know if you people have ever done Vipassana or not. Vipassana nahi kari na? So there you will understand. It is the highest level of concentration which leads to enlightenment, Pratibha. Yes, it would have been a very enlightening movement, Mayank. Okay, bye-bye. Let's meet tomorrow.